I am in a very happy place, very satisfied place right now, and let me tell you why. Around 6 months ago, I started working with a very successful entrepreneur, and one thing which they mentioned that like they had a history of achievements after achievements, but this person told me with a lot of heaviness that they have never learned to enjoy life, and that their life has been running after one accomplishment after another, and it feels like a never ending race, and they can't stop, but somehow they have never learned to enjoy their success. And you can imagine, right? This must be a very heavy feeling that despite all your successes, not being able to enjoy it, not being able to feel good about it. And we started talking, we started working around 6 months ago. And one thing which we uncovered was how was their relationship with silence and doing nothing. And this person said that they can't stand still. And every time they spend time in silence. And we started to do this even in our coaching conversations. We would like just sit for 10 minutes, 15 minutes in complete silence. And it would be very uncomfortable. But it was very important to uncover what was behind it and what was scary about not simply being able to enjoy what you are achieving. And what we uncovered was that there was a fear of never being enough, and that led to always striving for more. Not just for more results, but also always striving to please others and make others happy or satisfied in some way without ever focusing on themselves. And because of this person, this very successful entrepreneur cannot stand silence and solitude, and they always needed to do something, right? They can't never take a break. And one thing which we started to do immediately after we started to work together is we started to introduce small periods of silence and doing nothing in their daily schedule. And we started with 1 minute a day. 1 minute a day, this person would take out a minute and basically spend that in silence, right? You can even call it something closer to a meditation, but simply doing nothing and being okay with that. And anytime that will create thoughts, that will create fear, anxiety, just write down whatever comes up, right? And then in our coaching conversations, we would actually address those. We will actually go to the bottom of those fears, like the fear of not being enough, the fear of like feeling like you're missing out on something if you're stopping, and the fear of always wanting to please others rather than simply being satisfied with what you have achieved and enjoying that success. So we introduced this small period of silence, and we started from 1 minute. And very recently, just 2 days ago, this person reached out to me, and they had spent a weekend completely alone in silence, right? Without anything, without any TV, media, audio, without any reading books, newspapers, nothing. Just by themselves, they've spent a weekend alone. And this was a huge breakthrough for this person, for this journey over the last 6 months, to move this period of silence and simply being with yourself and being okay with being with yourself for a full weekend. And in their own words, this process of being uncomfortable, but still introducing some periods of silence, has managed to clear out like whatever was wasteful or hurtful for them in their heart, right? And often it is said that, right, the best way to clear muddy water is to leave it alone. The more you try to like take the mud out of muddy water, the more you're going to muddle it up, the more you're going to make it more difficult. And it's very similar when our mind is like muddled with thoughts and stories which are continuously running and bothering us, but which many times are not even real, leave alone helpful, right? Many times these are not even real, these are not even like rational, leave alone helpful or not. And for this reader, the stories were like the stories and thoughts which were running for them is like more is always better, or I am losing, or I am running behind. If I don't do anything, like I'm not good enough, I am not successful, or I'm missing out on something. So they always felt that they needed to be in control, and they needed to always go after the next big thing. And they were always worried about what will this person think, what will they think, what if they get upset, and so on. And a lot of this self-doubt and fear or loneliness, what you might call it, what we did was we just allowed the whole thing to circulate as much as it wants so that it settles down over time. And that has made a huge difference. Today, after 6 months of working together, this person says that I have what I need, right? They are still going for big results, but they have no hesitancy. So now this person says that I'm safe where I am. I have big ambitions, but I'm not in a hurry to go there. And I'm okay here as well as I will be in the future, whether I achieve or do not achieve like that success. They're still hungry for more impact, more success, but they're driven more by a purpose to create some change rather than fear, rather than insecurity, or rather than not being okay where you are today. This person is now more driven by creating some change. At the same time, whether that change happens or not, they are very comfortable right now, and which makes it easier for them to enjoy the success that they are having, which makes it easier for the people around them to also relax, take a breather, and not always be in that rush. And it makes the whole journey more fun. And this person recently mentioned that, right, that there is nothing more to do in this moment, right? There is stuff to do tomorrow, there is stuff to do next week, but in this moment I am good, my team is good, we're simply enjoying what we have achieved, and we're moving on. This has not just impacted their own personal like happiness or satisfaction. This has made a huge difference to their team's joy, mental well-being, health, and also the relationships between them. Nothing could be better for me than hearing something like this. This is why I do what I do. And thank you for listening.